Welcome to Cloud Infrastructure Services YouTube channel. In this video, we are going to show you how you can set up an Active Directory domain controller on Windows Server 2022 hosted on Amazon Web Services. So simply click the link in the description box to come to this marketplace listing for Amazon, and from here you want to create a new EC2 virtual machine with this particular image. So simply click on continue to subscribe. After that, you would be brought to this page from where you need to accept the terms and wait for the subscription validation process to complete. Once the subscription validation is completed, simply click on Continue to Configuration. After that, simply choose the AMI, the software version, and the region where you want to deploy your virtual machine, and then click on Continue to Launch. After that, you would be brought to this page where you have options to launch the EC2 virtual machine from either this website or from the EC2 management console. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to change it from website to EC2 and then click on Launch. After that, it is going to open up the EC2 management console in a new tab, and in this tab you can customize your virtual machine. So give your virtual machine a deployment name. So I'm going to call mine as AD, standing for Active Directory, and then scroll down and make sure that the image is the one that you got from the link in the description box, and scroll down even more and choose the instance type according to your requirements. After that, choose a key pair for login. You can create a new key pair or by choose an already existing key pair. And then you can leave the network settings as default and then simply click on Launch Instance when you're satisfied with the settings. Then you would have to wait for the deployment process to complete. Once that is done, you need to click on View All Instances. And now in here, the virtual machine in the pending state is our newly created virtual machine. We need to simply wait for it to change the state from pending to running. Now once inside the running state, we can connect to it using the RDP connection. For that, simply click on your virtual machine and then click on Connect. After that, you want to change the tab to RDP Client. And in here, you want to get the password, so click on Get Password. Now in here, what you need to do is that you need to search for your key pair and upload it, or simply browse to your key pair. After that, you would get all of this private key data, so simply click on Decrypt Password. With that done, you would have your public DNS, the username, and the password. Now the next thing that you want to do is that you want to open up an RDP connection, so hit Windows and search for Remote Desktop Connection. And in here, you're going to simply pass in the public DNS. Click on Show Options, pass in the username, and then click on Connect. After that, you would be prompted for the password, so simply copy this password and paste it inside this field and then click on OK. And then you would be prompted to connect to this virtual host, so click on Yes, and then simply wait for the connection to complete. And once inside the remote desktop connection, you need to simply wait for the Windows server to completely load before we can move on to the next step. Once the window is completely loaded, what you want to do is that you want to first assign a static IP to your Windows server. So for that, simply hit Windows, type in CMD to open up a command prompt. And within the command prompt, you need to type in ipconfig /all and then hit enter. And then you want to right click on this network icon and then click on Open Network and Internet Settings. After that, you want to click on Change Adapter Options. Right click on your adapter, click on Properties, then select IPv4 and then click on Properties, and then click on Use the following IP address. Now for the IP address, the subnet mask, and the default gateway, what you're going to do is that you're going to copy all of these things from this command prompt. So simply paste them inside those fields. And for the preferred DNS server, it is going to be your local host. So that is 127.0.0.1. After that is done, simply click on OK and then click on Close. Now, it is going to apply those network configurations. So you might even be logged out of your virtual machine for a few moments, but that is totally fine. Once you're back inside the virtual machine, you can move on to the next tab, but before that you need to close all of the windows. Next up, you want to set up the Active Directory or install the Active Directory. For that, simply hit Windows and type in Server Manager. So open up this app. Now inside this Server Manager, you want to click on this flag icon and then click on Promote this server to a domain controller. So that is going to open up a setup wizard for the Active Directory to be installed. Now in this wizard, we want to add a new forest. So for the root domain name, it is going to be rebeladmin.net. You can go with any domain that you want. And then when you're satisfied, then simply click on Next. Now for the domain controller option, we are going to go with the default forest function level and the default domain function level, but you need to type in the password for Directory Services Restore mode. After typing in the password, simply click on Next. Now for the DNS option, we are going to leave it as it is and then click on Next. Now in case of additional password, we are going to wait for a few moments for the setup to show us the default NetBIOS domain name, and we are going to go with the default NetBIOS domain name. So as you can see that it shows us rebel admin as our NetBIOS domain name. So we're going to go with that and click on next. And for the path, we're going to go with the defaults and then click on next. Next up, it is going to show us the review. So these are all the settings that we are going with. Now if you want to change some of these settings, then go back to that respective setting, change them and come back to this section. Once you're satisfied with this review and all the settings that you're going with, simply click on next to run a prerequisite check. Once the prerequisite check is successful, you need to simply click on install to actually install the Active Directory domain services. And then you just simply have to wait. But there is one thing to remember. After the installation process is done, it is going to restart the virtual machine, causing us to lose connection to the virtual machine. So we would have to again create a new RDP connection with our virtual machine. Once the installation process is done, you would have to again create a new remote desktop connection. So simply go with the connection, type in the password and connect to the virtual machine. Now after logging back into the virtual machine, you want to again open up the server manager. So hit Windows, type in server manager and then open up the application. Now if you want to open up the Active Directory Administrative Center, then you would have to simply click on Tools and then click on Active Directory Administrative Center. So that is going to open up the Administrative Center from where you can manage all of your Active Directories or the domains. So that is it on this tutorial. So if you have any queries regarding this tutorial, make sure to leave that query in the comment section down below. And make sure to check out the link in the description box for the step-by-step blog post guide on how to set up Active Directory Domain Controller on AWS and also for the marketplace listing for AWS. And finally, if this video has helped you in any way, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel.